So let's get right to it. I'd like to invite Phil Schiller on the stage to share with you some exciting changes in our notebook lineup. Phil?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having fun. I am. Well, today, I get to talk to you about the MacBook lineup. We are so proud of this lineup of notebooks. It is by far the best in the industry. The MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro each stand out in its respective area. And we have some really nice updates to each of them that I'm excited to tell you about. First, let's start with the MacBook Air. As you know, the MacBook Air has revolutionized the very idea of the modern notebook. With its all-aluminum enclosure, its incredible unibody architecture, it is a breakthrough, and everyone is trying to copy it. But they find it's not so easy. Our customers love how thin and light and capable this incredible consumer notebook is, and it has really changed the consumer notebook market. So we're going to update it with some really great features and updates. For example, the latest processors. We're now updating MacBook Air with the new generation, third generation Intel Core processors, otherwise known as Ivy Bridge. Depending on configurations, they can run up to 2 gigahertz of dual-core i7 speed. With Intel Turbo Boosting, they can get as high as 3.2 gigahertz. You can configure with up to 8 gigs of memory, and that's now faster memory, 1600 megahertz memory. And the integrated graphics that they run on are dramatically faster, up to 60% faster. It's a really nice speed increase. And as you know, the MacBook Air is built entirely around flash storage. And now you can put even more in it. You can put up to 512 gigabytes. That's half a terabyte of flash storage. And one of the reasons we use flash storage is it's so zippy and quick to launch your applications, to boot up your machine, to wake up from sleep. But now we're making it even faster. It's up to twice as fast as before. That's over 500 megabytes of read speed. I know some of you out there know what that means, right? It is faster than any hard drive that we can put in a notebook today. We're also making the I/O faster on it. We're adding USB 3. And USB 3, it's really important because it's up to 10 times faster than USB 2. Now, other people started to add USB 3 into their products as well. And this is how they do it. So they'll have ports on there, maybe a USB 3 port, a USB 2 port, color code them so you can tell the difference. That's not how we do it. So here's the MacBook Air. As you know, the MacBook Air has a port on each side. Our customers like that. And we're going to have USB 3 as well as USB 2 support, so you don't have to think about it. You just use whatever port you want. And we're updating the FaceTime camera to the same camera technology that we have inside the MacBook Pro, FaceTime HT, 720p camera. So across the board, a lot of really nice updates. As you know, the MacBook Air comes in 11-inch and 13-inch size. So here are the configurations. Let me bring up the 11-inch first. And let me highlight some of the things that have changed. So it starts with a 1.7 gigahertz dual-core i5. There's more memory at the entry config. It's faster, as well as up to 4 gigabytes of memory. And we've got the integrated graphics, now 60% faster. And of course, faster flash, faster USB. And the prices are $999 and $1099. That's $100 less expensive than before. And here are the 13-inch configurations. You see they start with a 1.8 gigahertz dual-core i5, faster memory, faster graphics, faster USB. And $1199 and $1499, both $100 less expensive than before. So that's the update to the MacBook Air. And best of all, it starts shipping today. So next up, we also have a really nice update to the MacBook Pro. As you know, the MacBook Pro, it is the quintessential professional notebook. our customers really care greatly about having the incredible speed for their video editing, their music editing, graphics and design and photography. And we're doing a lot of those same updates as well to the MacBook Pro. First, we're updating the processors with new third-generation core processors, otherwise known as Ivy Bridge. You can get speeds up to 2.7 gigahertz, and with a 15-inch up to quad-core i7. It can be turbo boosted up to 3.7. The memory is also faster, up to 1600 megahertz. And the integrated graphics, which both the 13 and the 15 use, are also 60% faster. Now, if you know, the 15-inch also has discrete graphics in it, and we're making that faster too. We've got a new generation NVIDIA GeForce GT 650M. You probably know it as Kepler architecture graphics, depending on configuration, up to a gigabyte of memory in that. And it's 60% faster than the previous discrete graphics. So that's a lot faster too. And as you might expect, we're also updating the I/O, so it's all USB 3 as well as USB 2. So it comes in a 13-inch and a 15-inch size. And let me show you those configurations. Here's the 13-inch. Highlight the changes. It starts with a 2.5 gigahertz dual-core i5. You can get 4 gigs or 8 gigs standard memory, faster integrated graphics, and of course, the faster USB as well, for the same $11.99 and $14.99. And here's the 15-inch and its configuration. Now it starts with quad-core processors, a 2.3 gigahertz quad-core i7, 4 or 8 gigabytes of faster memory, that new Kepler architecture NVIDIA graphics, 500 or 750 gigabyte hard drive. And you notice, of course, the same 7 hours of battery life, even with all that performance, just under an inch thin and 5.6 pounds. The same prices as before, $17.99 and $21.99. So that's the update to the MacBook Pro. And it is shipping today as well. So across the board, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, all updated today, all with faster processors, faster graphics, faster memory, faster storage, faster flash storage, faster USB 3. I mean, nobody turns over their entire line as quickly and completely as we do at Apple. And we're really proud of the engineering team and the work they do to do this quick so that you can get the exact product you need. So what's next? Let me make a little bit of room on the slide here. You know, with the MacBook Air, the engineering team did something really bold. With the MacBook Air, they re-envisioned the consumer notebook. And they were aggressive in embracing new technologies, flash storage, wireless networking, and discarding legacy technologies that we could see trending out of the product line in the future, built-in optical drives, wired networking, things that eventually we could do without. And that enabled them to do something bold that really shook up the industry and created a new generation consumer notebook. So we've been asking the team to think about what would make a next generation MacBook Pro. And it's a great question. Do I know the answer? Well, let me start by some of the key ideas. Right? You want a next generation MacBook Pro to have a killer new display. I do. Yeah. You want it to have an architecture built for the future. You want it to be radically thin and light. And of course, you want it to be bold and embrace the newest technologies and be willing to discard the old legacy things so you could make something unlike any other notebook that's been made to date. So would you like to see the next generation MacBook Pro? Well, let's show it to you now. So the next generation MacBook Pro is the most beautiful computer we have ever made. Well, the first thing you're going to notice from the front, it's dominated by an amazing, magnificent new display. There's never been a notebook that is this gorgeous. But really, if you want to be shocked, let's turn it around to its side and see what it looks like from the side view. Now, I know it's tough to see from the audience, The challenge, show you something so thin and light and small from so far away. But just to give you a little context, here's my finger next to it, right? It's thinner than my finger. I mean, even with its closed, it is, because that display is so radically thin. It is a true breakthrough in engineering, and there has never been a notebook this thin, this light, and this powerful for professional use. Let's bring it back around to the front. Now, don't worry, we're going to tell you all about it in just a minute. But we just have to enjoy for a second how incredible this is. So, close it up for now. And let me go up to the slides and tell you some more about this incredible product. So the new next generation MacBook Pro is 0.71 inches thin. That is remarkable. Putting it next to the existing current generation MacBook Pro, you see the difference. It's a quarter thinner, but it's a dramatic amount. In fact, let me bring the MacBook Air next to it. And you see, it's about as thin as a MacBook Air. That is incredible. And its weight, it weighs just 4.46 pounds, under 4.5 pounds. It is the lightest Pro notebook that we have ever made, even just lighter than the 13-inch MacBook Pro today. But probably the most amazing thing about it is this gorgeous display that it's built with. It is a breakthrough in display engineering. Yes, it is a Retina display. Which means the pixels on this display are so small that from a normal working distance, your Retina cannot discern those individual pixels. And to use it is absolutely stunning. It's 15.4 inches across, but its pixel density, are you all sitting down? Because this is really exciting. It is 2,880 pixels by 1,800. That's 4 times the number of pixels in the previous generation MacBook Pro display. Their density is 220 pixels per inch, and I know some of you are really smart out there and have already done the math. It's 5,184,000 pixels. That is the world's highest resolution notebook display. And yes. And it's not only amazing because of the number of pixels in it, but the quality of this display is the best we have ever made. It has higher contrast ratios, deeper blacks. It has a higher angle of view with IPS technology. And best of all, you get the benefit of the glossy display with the rich color, but we've been able to reduce the glare and reflection by up to 75%. It makes it a joy to work on. Now, it ships with OS X Lion, but Lion has been updated to take full advantage of that Retina display. So everything you do on it can look really sharp and beautiful. So the applications we include with Lion, for example, mail. Mail's been updated, so reading your mail is like reading fine print. It's gorgeous. Safari's been updated. Surfing the web can be like experiencing magazine print quality. And many of the applications like iMovie and iPhoto have been updated. In iPhoto, when you're looking at thumbnail photos in the events view, you're going to see a clarity and level of detail you've never seen before in a display. It's gorgeous. And not only the included applications, but we're also updating our professional applications as well to take full advantage of the Retina display. We have a major update to Aperture, our professional photo application. And this is a breakthrough for a photographer. If you love working with photos, not only has the whole UI been updated in every element for the Retina display, but you're now looking at 4 times the resolution of your photos as you work on them. It is absolutely a breakthrough event for photography. And Final Cut Pro 10 is being updated for it as well. And this is remarkable. Because of the density of that Retina display, that video area you see up on the top right in Final Cut, that is 100% pixel for pixel, 1080p HD video right there in that window. That means there are over 3 million pixels left over for your magnetic timeline, for your video bins, for your effects. And it also takes advantage of the amazing performance of this machine. You're going to be able to have up to 9 simultaneous streams of ProRes video or 4 simultaneous streams of uncompressed video. It is incredible performance. Now, applications do have to be updated to take advantage of this Retina display. If they aren't, we can pixel double them and make them the proper size, but they don't get the best effect until they do some extra work. So we've been working with some key developers to give them a look of this incredible machine and this amazing display, and they're doing some work that's phenomenal. Let me give you a couple examples. Adobe Photoshop. The great team at Adobe is doing amazing work on a version of Photoshop that will just be jaw-dropping. The resolution on that Retina display is just breakthrough. So if you like working with Photoshop, this is going to be an amazing experience. Autodesk is work on a new version of AutoCAD that takes advantage of the Retina display. And it allows a level of detailed work and design never possible in a notebook before. And if you think it's all just hard work and no play, there are some great games being created for it as well. This is Diablo 3. I know a few of you play this game. And you're going to see a gaming experience with this resolution unlike any you have ever seen before. So all throughout, this display is a breakthrough and makes possible a next-generation notebook unlike any other. Well, inside is just as amazing as that display. Everything inside this next-generation MacBook Pro has been reinvented, especially to drive an incredible design and incredible performance. Let's take, well, before I take the bottom off, isn't the bottom of our computer prettier than anyone else's top of their computer? Well, let's take it off. So this is the inside. You're the first to see the inside of the new generation MacBook Pro. It is a stunning work of engineering. You obviously can see that the inside is dominated by a battery pack. Because to drive that Retina display and all the performance you're about to hear about in something so thin and light takes tremendous work on battery technology. And luckily, our engineering team understands how to do breakthrough work in asymmetric battery pack to take advantage of every millimeter of space. Well, here are a few of the things on the inside. What you're going to find inside is the fastest processors we can put into a notebook. Quad-core i7 processors, up to 2.7 gigahertz. But you're going to find inside not only the fastest memory you can put in, but more of it. You can configure with up to 16 gigabytes of 1600 megahertz memory. Inside, it's of course the new generation fastest graphics we can put into a notebook, the new Kepler architecture, with up to a gigabyte of video memory. And of course, it's built around flash storage. If we're going to look forward, that is the proper thing to build it around. And you've just heard how much faster flash is, but now you can configure with up to 768 gigabytes of internal flash storage. That's 3/4 of a terabyte inside of storage, faster than any hard drive we can put into a notebook. So this amazing display, all these high performance components. How's the battery life? We're really proud that we're getting up to 7 hours of battery life for 30 days of standby, so you can really do your work on it. Let's take a look at the ports on it. Here are the right side and the left-hand side. You see an SD slot for your photos and videos. For the first time in a Mac notebook, HDMI, so you can plug right into your TV or projection system and go. Of course, USB 3 and USB 2 on both sides, the most convenient. Headphone port. MagSafe 2. Well, we took MagSafe, but we had to make it even thinner to fit into a design like this. And now 2 Thunderbolt ports. And this customer is perfect for utilizing all the new things coming out supporting Thunderbolt. Let me give you an example. You can store all your applications and your OS on the internal drive, but a lot of professionals will want to have their work volumes externally. Here's a new Promise drive, RAID drive. It's flash RAID running over Thunderbolt that gets over 700 megabytes a second of read performance. It's remarkable. Or cameras, like this brand new camera that was just announced at NAB from Blackmagic. It's a Cinema 2.5K camera. It's a flash-based camera, and all its I/O is over Thunderbolt. It's remarkable. It's the hit of NAB. And we can support legacy technology over Thunderbolt, ride it right on top. So we're creating some adapters to help customers. For example, a Thunderbolt to Firewire 800 adapter, yep, if you need that, and a Gigabit Ethernet adapter as well. So look inside, you're going to find all the things in a modern Mac notebook our customers want. A glass multi-touch trackpad for those beautiful gestures. A beautiful backlit keyboard so you can work all night long. The fastest networking, wireless networking put into a notebook, 802.11n, and that's 3-stream for maximum bandwidth through our latest Airport Extreme base stations and Bluetooth 4.0. Our FaceTime HD camera. Dual microphones, and this uses beamforming to enable a new generation of voice applications. And the best stereo speakers we've ever put into a desktop or notebook computer, this is going to sound absolutely beautiful. Of course, we love this so much we couldn't help ourselves. We made a video, and I'd like to run that for you now.
To create something that's genuinely new, you have to start again. And I think with great intent, you disconnect from the past.
If you never change anything, then what you can really engineer is kind of incremental. But when you're willing to change things, then you kind of open up a whole new world of design.
The new MacBook Pro is built for the very highest levels of performance. It's incredibly powerful and yet remarkably portable. It's without doubt the very best computer that we've ever built.
We focused on the features that matter most to notebook users, and we made huge leaps. For the first time, we're bringing the Retina display to the Mac. It's the highest resolution display we've ever put in a notebook. With a resolution of 2880 by 1800, this display has over 5 million pixels. That's 3 million more than an HD TV. At this resolution, on this screen size, pixels just seem to disappear. You see an extraordinary level of detail in your photos. And typography looks amazing. It's sharper than a printed page. Beyond the display, the new MacBook Pro is really a powerhouse. We knew that an all-flash architecture was a key part of driving performance. Flash delivers data up to 4 times faster and uses just 10% of the space that a traditional hard drive would use. When you combine that with the most powerful graphics chips, the latest quad-core processors, and the fastest RAM available, you end up with a machine that's incredibly responsive. Loading and working with your content is amazingly fast because we packed this machine with the latest I/O. It has 2 Thunderbolt ports, 2 USB 3 ports, and 1 HDMI port. With all of this performance, the new MacBook Pro gets up to 7 hours of battery life. And it's only 0.71 inches thin. That's 25% thinner than our previous generation MacBook Pro. And it weighs just under 4.5 pounds.
The new MacBook Pro would seem to be a complete contradiction. It's built for extreme levels of performance, but at the same time it's remarkably portable. To create it, we rigorously questioned the ways in which we've designed and built our portable products in the past. One of the most significant challenges was completely changing our approach to the design of the display. By building the layers of the display into the unibody, we actually eliminated the need for a separate cover glass. And without the additional layers, without the distractions, you're just completely immersed in your content. By not purchasing standard parts, but by designing and engineering components from the ground up, we can create a product that is more elegant and that's more efficient. And there are many design innovations in the new MacBook Pro that users won't actually see, but they'll certainly experience. For example, the thermal system, which enables the machine's incredible performance, operates in a way that is nearly imperceptible to the user. Air is pulled into vents and propelled through sculpted cavities by fans with asymmetrically positioned blades. In most fans, the blades are positioned symmetrically, which creates a single identifiable frequency. We positioned ours asymmetrically to spread the sound over a variety of frequencies, which makes it seem quieter and less intrusive. Every part of the enclosure makes a contribution that directly benefits the user. The vents are also part of the structural system, creating strong beams that actually increase the rigidity of the overall product. It truly takes an obsessive approach to make a product this meticulously designed and engineered.
We've been able to optimize the software to take full advantage of the Retina display, and the results look simply amazing. Aperture on the new MacBook Pro is a total game changer for photographers. They can now zoom in and see 4 times more of their image with pixel-for-pixel accuracy, and fine-tune even the smallest details. Photographers have never been able to work on images with this level of precision. Final Cut Pro 10 takes full advantage of the system's power and capabilities. So you can now stream up to 9 camera views simultaneously, or full 1080p video right in the project viewer, and have plenty of screen space to spare. No other notebook comes close to this type of performance.
With the new MacBook Pro, we set out to design something extreme. And this led us to rethink everything about our process, everything about what's essential to a notebook. And that meant that we could design the very best computer for today and for the future.
So the next generation MacBook Pro with Retina display. Let me tell you about its starting configuration. Of course, you can configure other items as well. It begins with that Retina display, a 2.3 gigahertz quad-core i7, a full 8 gigs of 1600 megahertz memory, NVIDIA GT 650M with a full gigabyte of onboard video memory, 256 gigabytes of that fast flash storage, full 7 hours of battery life, and under 4.5 pounds, starting at $21.99. And of course, you can configure it even beyond that. Yes. So, we are proud not only of the incredible quality of the products we make, but also our work to make them environmentally friendly as well. So I want to make sure we bring up this checklist as we have in the past. It is now ENERGY STAR 5.2, arsenic-free, mercury-free glass, BFR-free, PVC-free, and of course the glass and the high-grade aluminum is really desired by recyclers. So we're really proud of how hard the engineering team works on this aspect as well. So the new next generation MacBook Pro with Retina display, it is the future, and the best thing is it's going to start shipping today. So now that completes our notebook lineup. A great update to MacBook Air, a great update to the existing architecture, MacBook Pro, and for the first time, the high end of our line, the new flagship, the next generation MacBook Pro with Retina display, it's simply the best computer Apple has ever made.